Hello, today is June 11th. Okay, so I'm recording this because there's very strong censorship in China. I couldn't upload the Chinese version to the internet, to the platform. So I decided to put it in English. On the other side, I can also targeting some English speaking audience. Okay. So basically, it's about last week. Last week, the Middle East asset observation. Um, Yeah, okay. So I have opened two channels. The first channel is targeting the global users. You can subscribe my videos through the Lively. I don't know if it's called this or not. Yeah, okay. The address is on the top left. For the mainland user, you can subscribe my channel in the WeChat. How to say that? WeChat public account. Yeah, okay. The full name is LGB Go Middle East. Okay. So that's it. Let's starting by talking about the content. The first I focus on the macro side of the Middle East. In the last week, UAE government recorded revenue of 66.2 billion dirhams, and the actual expenditures is the 58.2 billion. There are surplus like 6 billion surplus. It's good. It's meaning the government has some have some surplus in such days. These days the economy is good, but it's hard to say in the for the next few years. The UAE do not have its own monetary policy, so it can save some money in the good years and to put to the to make the fiscal policy during the hard days. So it's good to see that they save some money in the last year in the good time. Uh, the other side is about the purchasing managers index. The UAE stood at 55 in the last month, and Kuwait is 52, Qatar is 53. So all these nations are the GCC nations, and I think the GCC nations perform very well, and so far they're doing very good. Um, yeah, so compared with China's current situation, so we know there's a good comparison between the Middle East and China. Okay, so the second part of content is about China and Middle East. In the last week, the Saudi Arabia joined the China dominated central bank digital currency. In the short name is called CBDC. Yeah, it's China dominated. Previously, that in the last month, China and the Middle East countries they hold a conference in Beijing, and in these days, the agreements and deals came out, and this is a very important deal between the China and Middle East to deal the cross-border business through the CBDC channel. Previously, someone predicted that maybe the oil will be linked to the Chinese New Yuan, but actually it's not possible. So through the CBDC is quite flexible and a smart way to do this. Also, it's not only Saudi Arabia, the UAE and some other Middle Eastern country, I believe, also they, they, they agreed on this CBDC deal. Uh, in the last week, the Qatar Sovereign Wealth Fund and decided to buy the 10% stake in the China Asset Management Corporation. This is well known the mutual fund in China, and currently the price must be very cheap. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's good thing to know. And also in the last week, the Saudi Aramco Ventures they invested the China Zhipu AI. The Zhipu is a leading AI firm in China, and also my my friend, not my friend, my classmates, and in my university, they contact me, in the last week, and yeah, it's a lot. The funny thing is that she's considering to expand the business in Middle East, but the funny thing is that they got invested from Middle East, so how can she worry about the business in Middle East? So there's no issue at all. Okay, so these are a few news, and for the global aspect, the oil price, uh, there's a bearish forecast in the coming, I don't know, maybe coming half year, in the coming time. So currently the OPEC and Russia still extend the reduction, the export, the reduction our production deal, but actually it's very hard to sustain the current price. So because the U.S. crude inventory is it's rising, yeah. So the demand is not that good, not that big, and also the supply is not small. So I know when the oil price getting down, there's a big influence to the Middle Eastern countries and also to the Russia as well, because um, Russia, the main financial income for the Russia is from the oil. So with oil, they can sustain the current business in the Europe. Also, the second big thing is about the interest rate. The European Central Bank has cut the interest rate in the last week. This is ahead of the US, even their inflation is not controlled very well. How to say? Yeah, it's kind of okay, yeah. But for the US, the inflation is very big determination on the inflation control. You can see on the red graph, the white is the US, the blue is Europe. So yeah, so currently we can see the Europe, the inflation rate is below the US. Okay, so the US has a very long inflation influence. Yeah, so we can, based on the European central bank's movement, we can forecast that the U.S. will cut interest rate in the short coming few months. So we have decided to balance our portfolio from the currently maybe the majority in the cash deposit, but in the future we're gonna put more money into the stocks, the equities. This is the equity graph. It's at least a major stock market in the globe. So on the top is Abu Dhabi, in Abu Dhabi stock market, and the second is the Dubai financial market. The interesting is that they are holding the current PE is about eight times and 16 times. But compared with the rest of the world, especially US the currently they're enjoying the 14th, 34. This Nasdaq and SP 500 is 26. Dow Jones is 2024. Yeah, so the US PE ratio is currently is much higher than the Middle East. Considering about the performance, I don't think the Middle East they deserve such a low PE. So I think the more money will come, the move to the Middle East, especially some smart money in the country, maybe in the US, but in the future they're gonna considering about the Middle East. Also some Asia money as well. Currently the PE in the Asia is still very high. Okay, so the next part, the second major part is about the corporation. I have done two valuation to the two major companies, not two major companies, but how to say, two well-known company. The one company is the Sadiq. Sadiq is the highway fare collector is the exclusive highway fare collector in the Dubai, and well, currently its P is high as well, but we cannot see it as a stock. To some extent, it perform like a bond. Annually, if you purchase at the current price 3.3, the annually return is about 5%, years like that. So we mentioned before, in the coming days, when the interest rate is going down, the investment to the Sadiq could be very good. what's for you to consider about it. The second company I value is the Phoenix. It is the Bitcoin miner in the Middle East, but its mining machine is globally distributed. In some in the Europe, some in the North America, and but the majority, like 60-70% of its mining power is in the Middle East, in the UAE, in the Oman. Yeah, these two major places. It's a very complicated stock because um, in the you see in the last few months, the majority investors are from the European countries, the foreign countries. The domestic investors they don't look good on the Phoenix because one extent is they don't understand this. How to say that? Yeah, they don't look good like a European country, like a Western countries regarding this Web3, regarding the Bitcoin miner business. On the other side, the Phoenix do not have uh, the dividend distribution plan, so it's not fit the normal valuation. So the Middle East investors they don't look good on this stock. So this stock, the price slumped in the last few weeks. Um, the last part I think is about some industry performance. The energy is still the major performer in this area. The real estate is showing weak in the last few months. Yeah, you see the money is outflow in the last 1 month, but back to 3 months before, the money is still money inflow in the real estate business. Yeah, the last yeah, okay. So the final aspect is about the Dubai residential market. I think so far I still couldn't get data from the DLD. Yeah, it's still loading. I couldn't get data from DLD, so I can just look at the numbers of the total transaction for the residential market and total the rent transaction. Yeah. So the last week, the total purchase transaction is 4,700, but for the rent business, there's 12,000. You can see that this two number is not just not big difference. So we can see that it's not much actual demand in the residential, but there's a lot of investors that just still rush in this business. Um, in the long term, it's good to buy, but it's not a good thing to the investor, I believe, because it's a big bomb, a big bubble. It's a big bubble in this asset. Also, there's some specific asset has dropped the price. This is the kind of has two. This belongs to the Denmark. It's off-plan property, launched in the last year August. Compared with last August, its current price has dropped 20%. This is it's normal. It's happening everywhere in the Dubai. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But definitely, it can represent. It's representative. It's a good example. I can see the last year when it's launched, its prices are the highest. It's highest, and uh, and Dubai residential market currently is like a Web3 crypto. The people just purchase new crypto. They don't want the old stuff. Yeah, the same phenomenon can apply to the residential market. Also, it's everywhere because it's the irrational, right? Okay, so this is the end of this week's. Um, okay, so I don't know. Maybe next week I still have to speak in English. Okay, so see you next week.